3rd of November, Rabbi Levitt, Gemora.
Okay. Bava Metzia. Okay, so we're trying to. The Gemora brought this brisa Toshma to be poshet to resolve whether it was that the statement of Rebbe Shimon ben Elazar was talking about a public area. There's a lot of people. Is it Dafka, a place of where the majority are Cananim, non-Jews, or is it even in a place of Rov Yisrael? Majority are from Israel. So we brought a brisa motze most but basic knesses of batim midrashos. And we said, Hare Elu Shalom, Mipnei Shabaylim Nisyashim Mehen. He finds it there, he could keep it because the owner has been miyash. So the Gemara suggested that certainly we're talking about a place that was, the Olam we're talking about Srurin, the money was bound up. And the Gemara asked, Bate bin Roshas Mayek Lamemar. Okay, so let's go from there. What's the Gemara's answer to that question? Bate Midrashas Didan. That's what we're up to. And that is like 5 lines from the bottom of Chaf Dalet Amid Aleph. One, two, three, four, 5, 6, 7. Yeah. Okay, so see the place, Lou?
Yes. Bate Midrashim, my Ika Lamemar. What is there to say in regard to study halls? Bate Midrashos di Dan. They are our study halls, i.e., Jewish study halls. The Yasvei Bahu Kinanim, in which Canaanites are there as guards. Hashta de Asis Lahachi. Now that you have arrived at this understanding, Bate Kinesios Nami Didan. It is possible that houses of assembly also refer to our houses of assembly, i.e., synagogues. De Yasve Behu Kinanim, in which synagogues stay as guards, and in which Canaanites stay as guards. Why did it say the same thing twice? Let's see. There are study halls in which Canaanites stay as guards. Now that you have arrived at this, they're houses of assembly. Oh, I see. They're saying both, but not only can there be houses of study, but also houses of assembly. So, in other words, study halls are big midrashim, and houses of assembly are shuls. Bate kinesios are shuls.
Okay. Do we have any Rashi over here? I guess the Yasve Behu Kananim.
Wait a second. The Yasve Behu Kananim. So let's see what the Yasve Behu Kananim. That's where the Kananim stay. I had that place 2 seconds ago. Okay. Shehem Chutz Le'er, that they are outside of the city. The Moshivim Ba Canaanim, and the Canaanites dwell there. Lishmor, to watch over it.
Okay, so what was the issue over here? The issue over here was that we want to know whether the din of Rav Shimon ben Elazar, when he says that the owner of the lost item was miyayish in a place where you have a multitude of people, did he mean to say specifically when the multitude of people is the majority of them, of this multitude, are they non-Jews? Or do we even say this by a case where the multitude, the majority of the multitude that's there is Yisrael? That's what we wanted to know. So we brought this brisa here as a proof, because we were saying that we were assuming that this, when it says in the brisa about bate kinesios and bate midrashos, we're talking about places which are Rov Yisrael. So then we have the answer to our question. So the Gemora said, no, we're talking about bate kinesios of Canaanim. And then we had a back and forth with that. And so now the maskana, the Gemara is saying, is that we are, in fact, talking about Bate Midrashas Didan, our Bate Medrash. And so, therefore, we're talking about a case of Rov Yisrael. So we're talking about our Bate Medrash, not any Bate Medrash of Canaanim. And but why is it that the Baalim is miyayish? Because the Asve Buhu Kananim, because it's not a place where only Yisrael is. They also have Kananim over there. And Rashi explains, who are these Kananim anyway? Rashi says, yes, they are, since these places are chutz le'ir, the basic Knesses, the basic Medrash, chutz le'ir. Yeah, not only the basic Knesses, but even the basic Medrash, they're chutz le'ir. And so therefore it's a bit of a sakana over there to be over there, chutz le'ir. And so therefore they moshivin kananim lishmor. They placed kananim over there to be shomer on the Beis HaMedrash, on the Beis HaKnesses. So presumably what that means is on the people that are there. And so therefore, the din is that even in the case of Rov Yisrael, we're saying that we could explain the Bryce is talking about a case of Rov Yisrael. And nevertheless, if somebody loses something, he says, "Oh, that's it. I'm not going to be able to get it back." And even if it has a siman, because we ended up saying that we're not talking about mufuzarin, because if it was talking about mufuzarin, then it has no siman, and if it has no siman, so then we don't need the Bryson to tell us such a thing, which is pashut. So therefore, we had to say we're talking about, even though there's a siman on this money, nevertheless, the chiddush of the Bryson is that in a place where there's a rabbim of like these places, we're going to say that the din is he's going to be miyash. Okay. Okay, now we go on to the next. So therefore, what happened? That's what we're saying at the end. Now we're going to see the Gemora is going to continue to try to prove something. Toshma. Let's see what the Gemara is going to try to prove over here. Toshma Motzaba Aveda. Okay, Roy, would you like to read?
Thank you. Toshma, come learn. And it says here the resolution to our question from a Mishnah which states Matzah Aveda. If one found a lost object there in a city with Jewish and Canaanite residents, the following determination should be made. Im Rov Yisrael, if the majority of the residents are Jews, Kaiv L'Havarid, the finder is obligated to announce his find. Im Rov Kananim, if the majority of residents are Canaanites, Eino Kaiv L'Hachariz, the finder is not obligated to announce his find. Main Shema Eis Li D'Amar. Whom have you heard saying that? Azalinan Bata Rova. Whom have you heard saying that we take into consideration the multitudes who frequent the area in deciding what should be done with the latest object, with the lost object? Rabbi Shimon ben Elazar, it is he who in the brisa cited above, the scroll, permits one to keep what he finds in an area frequented by many people. Thus, it would seem that this anonymous Mishnah also reflects the view of Reb Shimon ben Elazar. Therefore, learn from this Mishnah's differentiation between the Jewish and Canaanite majorities. Ki Koma Rabbi Shimon ben Elazar, that in which case does Reb Shimon ben Elazar state his rule? Barov Benaanim, only in areas with a majority of Canaanites. Aval Barov Yisrael, but in areas with a majority of Jews, Reb Shimon ben Elazar does not rule that one may keep whatever he finds.
Okay, so the Gemora came out with a different conclusion than we just got through with the previous brisa. Previous brisa, we said even in a place where there's Rov Yisrael, he says Reb Shimon ben Elazar that the din is that the Bailim are mi'aish. Here, what's coming out is that no. Here's what's coming out is when did Reb Shimon ben Elazar say his din that the Bailim is mi'aish? In the case of Rov Kananim. About Rov Yisrael, lo, didn't say his din in the case of Rov Yisrael. Let's see Rashi. Motza bo aveda.
Motza bo aveda. If you found a lost object. In Daharos, Be'ir, in a city, She Yisrael, the Canaanim Darim, that the Yisraelim and the Canaanim both dwell there, in it, the Sechet Machshirin. Okay. So just the place where it is.
Oh. Oh, in other words, this is a Mishnah in Maseches Machshirin. Matzah bo aveda. Okay. Okay, so in Rov Yisrael, chayev lahakris. If the place that was found was Rov Yisrael, chayev lahakris. Rov Kananim, if it's Rov Kananim, ain't no chayev lahakris. The Gemara is identifying this Mishnah as the view of Rav Shimon ben Elazar. He's the one who goes Basarov, and you hear over here that if it's Rov Yisrael, it's not chayev lahakris. I mean, I'm sorry, it's davka chayev lahakris. Yes, chayev lahakris in the case of Rov Yisrael. Only in the case of Rov Kananim, is it not chayv lahakris? Oh, so now the Gemora responds to this. Lou, you want to read Hamani Rabbanan He?
You're muted.
Thank you, Roy. It is the rabbis who disagree with Rabbi Shimon ben Elazar. Tif Shut Mina resolved from this de modu le Rabbanan le Rebbe Shimon ben Elazar, that the sages agree with Rabbi Shimon ben Elazar. Barov Canaanim, with the majority of Canaanites. Wait, I'm confused now. It says the rabbis disagree with Rabbi Shimon ben Elazar. Resolve from this that they agree with him. What is that? I don't get the logic
They
there.
disagree. When we say we disagree, it's not that they only disagree in the other case. They agree with him about the Kanani case. That's the case they agree. When they say they disagree, it's not they always disagree. They disagree in the case of the Kanani. That's
I
when.
okay.
And so let's. And there is a Rashi on this somewhere. I saw that the Pshat. I saw the Rashi of Tif Shot Mihei, and that the Tif Shot is that word that you can solve this out. You could solve it out. Mitzat from some of Misheotam, some of the questions. The Modeh Rabbanim Barov Kanani, that the Rabbanim do agree when the case is the majority of Kananim, the Piligi Barov Yisrael, but they disagree in the case when there are a majority are Yisraelim.
Okay, there's not too much explanation over here in the Rashi about what the Gemora is, how the Gemora arrived at this conclusion that it has here right now. Let's try to figure this out on our own, because we're getting no help from Rashi, not that I see. Okay, so according to the first brisa that we brought, we were coming out that we could learn out from from that brisa. We were identifying that as the Shita of Rabbi Shimon ben Elazar, and even by Bate Kandasios of Yisrael, which is a place of a multitude where the majority are Yisrael. Nevertheless, the din is Harei Elu Shalom. So in both scenarios, whether it's Rov Kananim, even if it's Rov Yisrael, Rav Shimon Elazar holds that even an item that has a siman the din is that the finder could keep it in both of those cases. Then in the Mishnah in Makshirim, the Gemara said that the Mishnah itself says that if it's Rov Kananim, so then Hare Elu Shalo. But if it's Rov Yisrael, Hayav Lahachris. So we saw that Mishnah was disagreeing with the way that we explain according to Shimon Elazar. So the Gemara initially said that since we see that the Mishnah goes according to the Rov, this would be the opinion of Rav Shimon Elazar. And if so, if it is Rav Shimon Elazar, so then we see that Rav Shimon Elazar himself holds that there's a split. If it's only if it's Rov Kananim, the din is Harei Shelo. But if it's Rov Yisrael, lo, then you be Chai Lahachris. On that, the Gemara said, no, we don't have to say that Mishnah in Makshirim is Rav Shimon Elazar. We could say that it's Rabbanan. We could say that it's Rabbanan. They're the ones that are making the split. The Rabbanan are making the split. And the Rabbanan disagree with Rav Shimon Elazar. And then Rashi in the Tishat Minah, he says we can now resolve at least a part of our question that we asked, because we see that the Rabbanan are moda in the case of Rov Kananim, that the din is Harei Elu Shelo. They just argue in the case of Rov Yisrael. Oh, okay. So that's where we're holding right now. Now the Gemara is gonna have another step. It's gonna, let's see what the Gemara says now. Sounds like it's disagreeing with what we just got through saying. Ella, says the Gemara Olam. Whose turn is it to read the Gemara?
I think it's mine. Ela, rather, the Olam Rabbi Shimon ben Elazar, the Mishnah may actually be in accordance with Rav Shimon ben Elazar. Va'afilu barov Yisrael Nami, and it is conceivable that Rav Shimon ben Elazar ordinarily allows one to keep even what he finds in an area with majority of Jews. So why then does this Mishnah state that one must announce what he finds in an area with majority of Jews? Because this Mishnah is not dealing with an ordinary find. B'may asakinon. Rather, with what case are we dealing with here? Batamun, with the case of a buried object. Since the owner concealed it and is presumably aware of its whereabouts, the object is not considered lost. Therefore, the finder is not permitted to keep it. But if it was buried, then obviously the finder was looking for it. Unless he was digging up the road.
He's keeping it there in safekeeping. That's where he keeps it for safekeeping.
Right, but the finder.
He's hiding it away, so therefore
the finder was The finder found it. That's all.
Giving up on it. He buried it away, so we should be able to pick it up after everybody leaves.
What, Phil?
Yeah. Well, let's read Rashi on this, the moment that it's buried. That's buried. The cave, and since the Tom knew, because since he buried it, lav avedahi, it's not considered a lost object. Hilchach there, barov Yisrael, yachriz. With the majority of Yisrael in there, he would have to announce it. It's not automatically the finders.
Wow, in other words, even though the Mishnah says Motzubo Aveda, he found an Aveda. The Gemara is saying, no, it wasn't really an Aveda. So why does the Brisa describe it as an Aveda if it's not really an Aveda? Bissel schwer. Okay, that's what the Gemara is saying. We're saying right now that this second Tanaic statement, the Mishnah in Makshirin, Motzba Veda, where we have a split in the din over there. If the place is a place of Rov Yisrael, then we say Chai B'Lahachris, and otherwise, if it's Rov Kananim, so then we say Eino Chai B'Lahachris. So that is the Gemara says it's not Rabbanan. Really, it's also Rav Shimon ben Elazar. And so that's why in the case of Rov Yisrael, the din is Chai B'Lahachris. If it would be a real Aveda and the person lost it, even in the case of Rov Yisrael, Rav Shimon Elazar says, even if it has a siman, he's not Chayiv L'Hakris. That was the case with the basic Knesset, with Rov Yisrael. But over here, we're saying that it's really not an Aveda. It was buried there with intention. It's not an Aveda. It's buried treasure. So in that case, the Mishnah says if it's case where there's Rov Yisrael, Chayv Lahakris. You see, the person is not. I mean, if he buried it, he's not Mi'ayish. He's planning on coming back for it one day. Now, the only thing is, though, is that if so, that it's a case of buried treasure, so then why, when it's a case of Rov Kananim, is the din Harei Elu Shalo? Shouldn't we also say over there that the owner buried it here and he's not Mi'ayish and he's planning on coming back for it? Why in the case of Rov Kananim is the din that the finder can keep it? Yeah, this looks like an issue that's dealt with by Tosus, Dibur Maskil B'Tamun. Tosa says in Tomer, but Tomun lama yigabo. How if it's Tomun, if it's buried, how what gives him a right to touch it at all? Imishum sheyafana osa hamafana yikhana b'yachriz. Who's this Nafana that he's talking about? Oh, okay. So fine. So anyway, that's what the Gemara is saying over here. So you have any time? Not really. Okay. Okay, so we're right in the middle.
I want to ask something that if we think it's from a Canaanite, how do we know that the money or the treasure wasn't used for Avodah Zarah?
How do we know it was not used for Avodah Zarah?
Because we wouldn't want to keep it if it was. Or any of their possessions that we may find.
We're talking about money here, right?
I suppose so. Only, yeah, okay.
I mean, if he buried it, I mean, how would he use money for Avodah Zarah?
You could buy wine with it.
Yeah, but he didn't do that. It's in the ground now.
Well, maybe he's the keeper of the money for the Avodah Zarah, and this is his stash of donations.
So maybe we have to be worried that all this money was donated for Avodah Zarah.
Maybe he sold an idol. His job is selling idols and making them and selling them. Or maybe it was stolen money or something. How do we know?
Stolen money.
Anyway, it's getting late.
Okay, it's getting late. That's the answer.
Good. Okay.
Thank you, Rabbi.
Yeah, be well tomorrow. Be well.
Not the Hashem.